My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the world. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the corrupt. No one to trust, my people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they said they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me say welcome again to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. And we've been away for few days, not few weeks, few days, and sometimes it's good to take the sabbatical, especially when we're changing the weather, or when the weather is changing in Europe or it becomes a bit difficult because we got to change a lot of things. We got to change the environment. We got to do a lot of things. But again, we back here and we back to stay. And let me say good evening to the Lord Paul Churuple in the UK. And Paul, do you hear me well? How is your day going?
Good evening, Linfo. I can hear you pretty well. The day been great. It's good to be back in the UK. Everything is back. I'm back home. I'm fine. And how you're in?
And by the way, I'll tell you how my end. Where did you go? Or you just because yeah, you went somewhere.
Well, the thing
You
is,
you don't need to answer the question though. Well,
yeah, I was on the west coast, the
okay.
continent. Yeah, so of Africa, and it's been nice, beautiful, beautiful weather.
Wow.
Sunshine. I think I brought the sunshine with me since I came back. The weather been extremely good here. And my
Oh
return to, it seems to me that the team that I support, they just making me to feel much more better and better every day when I see them playing. So I kind of excited everything. So yeah, it
yeah,
seems to me that we're heading somewhere good. So
yeah. We, my weather has been very bad. Um, Saturday night we had the first snowfall, and I have gone to work with my almost smooth summer tire. And after I got to working like 10 o'clock to 10:30 in the night, time to come home. When I when I got outside, what was on the car? Snow. I started to remove snow. Then I started to wonder because I was going like 38 kilometers back home. And then I started to wonder how will I get home with a smooth tire? I mean, when I mean smooth tire, that's the summer tire. But it was good. And then Saturday morning, the same thing happened. But the snow went away. Normally, it happens here in Norway. There will be early snow by now, and then it will stop. And sometimes in October it stop. But sometimes in November it will start again. But the real one comes at the end of November when you wake up. You are in it for truth. So we are gearing up for that. But the beauty of it is that at my workplace, if you stand up, it's up the hill, and you look down the town. They got the trees that turn completely yellow, and they got the other ones that turn completely red. Then we got the evergreen trees too. So with the combination of the colors, it tells us that we're coming back to the winter. And so all in all, it's exciting to be at the time of the year. It's exciting to be where we are. But
great.
tonight, Paul, we have a couple of things that we'll be talking about. And we hope that our viewers can help us to share the video, or let's welcome a couple of few guys here. um uh Murphy Simpson says he's following us from Montreal. So Murphy, could you just do us a favor, invite your friends and share the video with them? And we got Bella Williams, we don't know where he's watching from, but wherever you are watching us, please share the video with your friends and invite them. Tonight, we got a couple of things to talk about. And so, Paul, let me say again, it's good to have us back here on the bottom line. I received a couple of texts, what was happening to us and stuff like that. So we are back, and we are here to. We sorry that our other colleagues cannot be here tonight, or Jamal Kamara cannot be here tonight, or Antrit is not here also. And so, yeah, Bella says she's a female. Sorry, Bella. But I hope I got your name correct as well. But welcome, Bella. Please share the video.
Uh,
And what do you have anything for us tonight? What do you think we'll be talking about?
Before that, I'll also say, Joseph Cotto, welcome on the bottom line. I think we'll look at Mr. Cummings' visit, the ANC convention, how
Mhm.
successful it was,
Right.
and then we should also talk about why is it that all of these network today, when anybody cough, is Cummings. If somebody storm their toe is Cummings. Why is it Mr. Cummings everywhere on the lips of everyone? They touch you, those that hit the stomach. But something happened last night on Spoon, and I want us to talk about it. They have started playing video on just something we can brief up about the past history, the world days. And I think Facebook, somebody might have reported them, Facebook had to shut them down last night. So it's something that we can look at. They were talking about Daniel Chia. So it's something that I think is disturbing. if they're not ready to educate the people in Liberia who to vote for, if they're supporting the government, then they should be clear and say it. But then we'll also look at the effect of what's happening on the ground, but the censor, why is it the censor delay, and now they having attitude tests, recruiting people here and there, and the government is confused, is something that we need to look into as well. So I don't know what your take on this.
Well, we'll be looking at that as well. It's on the agenda. This recruitment of people, and already just from the recruitment stage, we are running into problems with the census. So, can you imagine what we expect in the next 11 months? Of course, it's about 12 months to go. Not exactly 12 months to go. In counting days, it will be less than 12 months ago. But in the next 11 months, what do we expect in the week of the elections? When just and all of these we'll be talking about. We'll look at it. We'll look at the delays and what the delays has caused us. And we also, Mr. Cummings was at that ANC convention that he talked about, and for the first time, for me, I don't know about you, I don't know about other people, but for the first time for me, he was able to touch on the list, because I've been I've been actually waiting to hear what he would say about the list. But he talked briefly about the list, and he tried to educate the people who feel that the inclusion of certain people on the list is against Mr. Cummings's pronouncement that he cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and get better results. So, folks, these are some of the things that we'll be talking about tonight. Like I said, share the video, and we'll be happy to have you. Welcome, Sir Lucretia Nelson from the UK, and from North Carolina, Joseph Conto. So, Paul, to get us going tonight, the first thing I want us to talk about is I don't know. Do you have our Bible music? You know me, I like that music. So if you get rolling for us.
So to our audience, the Bible music from you, if are gone, the #1 hit in the UK, we just want to play is while you helping us to share our show. Just about for 2 minutes, and then less than 2 minutes the music. So help us share the show. We're going to have a very interesting topic today. So I just want to say, everybody relax and enjoy the #1 hit in the UK. This is called Fagon #1.
I cannot get me for late here to drive for the $7,000 car. Now what's what camping for? That's stupid. That is what camping for your steps to wash a car. With the West shopping, 350 you better. That is what camping. That is what camping. Or you feel like to eat lobster and he's showing you baby chicken and driving at the $8,000 car. That is what camping. That is what camping. For Janako to be controller general, why when that this is was? That is what camping. That is what camping. For Bessie Yeke to be head of place, why when that one of the people want to NASCAR? That is what camping. That is what camping. For Ella Castro to be the head of NAFA, while husband is a consultant to Marita. That is what camping. Oh, that is what camping. For family investing, I'm going to detail. That's stupid. That is what camping. Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh.
But Paul Widow, have you listened to the new one he made?
Yeah, I got it. The new one is here. We'll roll it later on.
Well, really little. And since Lucretia is saying that we should play our ANC music, that would do, but there are some reasons why we play these kind of videos. That means supposed to campaign. That alone, that question alone can play on the minds of former citizens or people who are citizens who are doubting that if your former deputy information minister for public affairs can come now and ask the kind of question, ask your president the kind of question. I think that for me it means a lot. Paul, like we said, dive directly into our discussions this evening, I want us to start with this um, the rice issue that was in the country in the first place. We understand there is some rice on the market already, but the president set up a rice task force. And if you look at, I don't know, probably I'm having it wrong, but if I look at the definition of a task force, a force that has a particular task to perform, they are given certain mandate. And I know when they give them a mandate like that as a task force, when you give them a mandate, they must have some punitive actions that they can levy against anybody who breaks a rule. So the president set up a task force recently, and the mandate of that task force for me is very sketchy. Uh, First of all, have you heard about our task force, that rice task force?
My brother, this government, to be honest with you, they have set a lot of group to do investigation, all that never work. So we know the government is incompetency. It just to cool off the temperature. That's what it did. But you're not going to hear anything good. We know what's happening. So talking about the rest issue before we dive into the rest issue, the Zoko also now that voted this government, they have started making rap music against the rest issue. I got a few second clip for us to show our audience that we can talk about it. This is a Zoko now giving this. I'm rolling this now. If you not get my neighbor, you just saw back. Chat a lot of used to eat it. But my Erica was eating 2 times. Said, we are going to eat it 1 time. I said, I tell you, why the control going on? Yeah. The Zoko now start turning against him.
You can't be serious.
Going extremely bad. So, what does that tell you?
Well, looking at the history of rice in the country, from my time of knowing myself, we start from 1979. We know what the rice riot did, and I vividly recall, and it was a bad scene. So, for any leadership, or for any leader for that matter, to play with rice issues in Liberia, then you may be somebody who does not obey. History, because history is there to teach us and to demand of us changes in attitude, in behavior, and in the way we do things. That's what history is there for. We look at history, then we extract the good ones, and apply it to our present life to prepare for the future. And then the bad ones we drop it and avoid it from the present and the future. So for a leader of a country like Liberia that has a very bloody history of rice riot, to play around that sensitive issue like the way this leadership has been doing, for me, is beyond my normal human understanding capacity. So this is not fun. And if you look at this boy, I mean, we call them Sogo, but these are people that you expect to vote. These are people who do not have advantage like you and I or other people. These are people who will not go home in a day. After they go all around, they will not go home to a place called home to sit down on a table with a warm meal. These are people who grab they are on the go, and they grab and go, meaning whatever they see at the moment, that's what they got, and they will eat. And if you listen to the boy, he said during Taylor time, and the reason why he started Taylor time was a chaotic time. That was a war time, but they used to eat 3 times. My Ellington, they used to eat 2 times. At least they have something on the table. But your real time, they don't have anything. So can you imagine if you compare those 3 different periods that he was talking about? Taylor time, things were hard. There were war. People were dying. People were running up and down. But still, they could afford some people. Not everybody. It was difficult. I can't lie. People were eating pancake in Monrovia. Then Ellington, it was no more war. the country was just recuperating. It's like you've been sick and you wake up now from your sick bed. You are not totally well, but at least you're coming to yourself. You know that you're coming to yourself. And that was what happened at Town. Okay. And then during Joria time, you are already well from your sick bed. It's supposed to be normal. But then you find yourself in a condition like you are still sick. So that was a very powerful message. And we shouldn't overload these kind of things because this is how things can start.
Well, so Lynn, for this, I think this will lead also transition to Mr. Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being, the country is being poorly run, and that's the fact. In one of Mr. Cummings, where he said it's like you can't fly an airplane. They give you airplane to fly. The job is too big for this guy. It's too big for them, and that is the bottom line. The job is too big. So if Zocos that put them in now complaining, it just tells you that the job is too big for the we-led government. The job is too big for every one of them. They had their motive while they went in, and he said, we didn't do anything, and he gave her the job. So if you do nothing and the job is too big for you, what do? You can't do anything. It's like you taking me and say, go teach a PhD student. If I'm a first grade teacher to go teach PhD, and me it's too big, I won't be able to deliver. The job is too big for them. And that's it. So this is about time Liberia make a decision to bring in people who can manage that country. The country need management. That's all.
Okay. But before we go to Mr. Cummings or the ANC convention over the weekend, and then we play some excerpts from Mr. Cummings' speech, there was something that came to my mind. You know, when the elections in 2017, and you mentioned this earlier on, the elections in 2017, there was not much heard about a man called Alexander Cummings. I heard his name, and I heard the ANC, but there were two big names. George Weah coming from the football arena, so we all know about George Weah. Then Joe Boyka being serving on Ellen as vice president. We knew about him. So some of us, we thought that, okay, send this, Liberian politics is this big boys game. Let's go for the big names. And this is how some of us were supporting some of these people. I supported GMB because I knew that, or George Weah, GMB would have been at least what do you call that? The lesser of the two evils. Okay, so at least I would take a less. If they want to behead me or they want to come my hand, I think I would say, I'll come my hand. So that's what we did for GMB. But then fast forward after elections, then the name committee was still around, resonating. Nothing was heard about him much in 2017, but now almost everything, like you said earlier on, all social media is coming. The post sanctions on government officials, the ruling party that is now behaving like opposition party, they cry on the opposition man name. Okay, how possible is it that one man can go and put sanctions on whole government? Okay, and then the other opposition parties, they are fighting this one man. So there is something about Mr. Cummings now that I don't understand. Do you really see where I'm coming from? Why I say that this name is becoming so popular everywhere, every talk show, every political arena.
What happened here, Linford, is simple. In Liberia, when the little boy that sell cold water between cars start talking about you the next leader. The moment they keep singing song of Mr. Cummings, he's the next leader of Liberia. And this, I would say, take it to the CDC Akaros Great Bank. He will be the next leader. Now, before 2017, all the little children were talking about George Weah. Everything about George Weah. They see very children today now making music. Ellington were eating 3 cups of rice, were eating 3 times a day. I mean, Taylor Town, Ellington were eating George Weah Town. We barely have 1 meal a day. So the very group now, they are now calling Cummings' name. So I gave a story the other day that this little boy in Douala selling color, he stopped his toe, the whole pen capsa. Oh, the Cummings man. So everything that goes wrong in Liberia, that comments. If you laugh, that comments. Somebody cry, that comments. So you think about it, that means he's going to be the next leader. And
Okay,
people are
so
now afraid, yeah.
Okay, so then let's go to the convention in
Yeah.
in Maryland, the United States of America, not Maryland, Liberia, but Maryland in the United States of America, in a particular state of in a particular city of Baltimore, and I understand there were a lot of supporters of the ANC that were there, and also well wishers. Well wishers, I mean people who are not registered members of the ANC, but they support Mr. Cummings' idea, and so we had like 3 different groups at that place, from my own understanding. The registered diehard members of the ANC that support Mr. Cummings and the ANC. So if you subtract Mr. Cummings from the ANC, they still support the ANC. Were there. Then you have people who support Mr. Cummings' idea. So if you move Mr. Cummings from the ANC, he go to BEC, they'll follow him to BEC. Then you have people who are not connected to anybody. They just sitting, they just waiting to cast a vote. We call them the no position if you wish. They are neutral people. Those are the kind of 3 groups that were there. And somebody tells me that the hall was packed because that was a classical hall. It wasn't just one open place where you can walk. I mean, when you walk in, you know that you are in a hall. And they tell me that all of the seats were occupied. But Mr. Cummings used that occasion to talk to the Liberian people, people who support him, and people who also do not support him, who are detractors. He addressed everybody. So let's hear from Mr. Cummings himself in this video. And let me just register that the quality of the video. I don't know. I'm using this app to record it, but then it's
We'll talk about that video already there, Linfo.
Okay. Okay. I don't know from which angle you took it from, but
from the introduction of the web.
Oh, okay. But then the part I have is where you were actually addressing the list issue. And I thought that was very important for people who say question this list or the names of people on this list to listen to him and to understand. But roll from where you got, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, then I'll roll the part I have.
Well, so on this video is something, the introduction of him from the wife. She says something about Mr. Cummings. And this is what I want people to pick up from what she said about her husband. And then we can okay, so bear with me a second. I'm gonna roll this now. The clip is about 6 minutes, but just the first bit, and then you can bring in what he talked about the list.
Let me just tell you a little bit. I've been knowing this man for over 42 years. We've been married for 40 years, going on 41 years. So I know him very well. So let me tell you a little bit, something about him that you don't know. That man, what kind of stubbornness? When you tell him he can't do something, it's a challenge. So don't ever challenge him. This court case was a challenge. He was all kind of stubborn. And I know this. I've been knowing this man for 40-some years. So that's a little bit about him. He likes to dance. He likes music. He likes people. He likes partying. But he's serious too. Yeah. So, without further ado, please, I would like to introduce to you my husband, a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a brother, my sweetheart.
Thank you. Please have your seat. Thank you. Good evening. Hello. Hello. So the leadership of ANC Global illustrate the leadership of the East Region, John Paolo Tiola, who has DMV, and all ANC partisans. Thank you for your presence. To all of our other visitors, thank you for being here this evening and for your support.
Okay, Linfall, so now you can roll your tape. And
Okay, before I roll it, let me just comment a little bit on that introduction. You see, every time I look at Mrs. Cummings, I have not thought that she was this very active person. I thought she was just this, cool little person who does not talk and not even openly articulate. But I was taken aback by two things from this particular program: the way she spoke, and the way she was very active. The eye contact, the body movement, and then all of a sudden, when the dancing thing happened, that one I was saying that day, my hand on my head. I said, "What?" Because I know there are certain people who appear very reserved, but then when you see them in certain action, you can't believe it. So I was very impressed with her performance. First, the way she spoke, very articulate in her speech, and she didn't fumble over words. So I'm very impressed. I think she impressed me. Okay, but then here's my video. And please bear me with the quality of this video. There will be some blinking because the app I'm using probably I don't know what I did wrong, but next time we'll promise not to do. But in this video, Mr. Cummings will talk a lot of things. It's about 5 minutes, so we gotta bear with us.
Oh, Liberia had it. Oh, do you know who I am? People want to play big shot. No. That we have no interest in that. If you want to come so we can work and make the sacrifice to change the country, come join us. Let's go and get rid of President we have, because the job is too big for him. If you ask me to go fly a plane, I can't fly a plane, right? That's what we've asked President we have to do, to go fly a plane. You can't fly a plane. You can't. And we shouldn't be surprised by what's happening in our country today, but it's up to us. It's up to us to do the work and to have the belief and the determination we can change our country. As Teresa said, don't underestimate the calmness. I don't raise my voice. I don't yell, I don't scream most of the time. But there's a determination, and if I get the opportunity to lead Liberia, or tsunami will hit that country.
Yes.
When I bump now, what you do for Liberia?
Because that's what it will take to change Liberia. It cannot be business as usual. It cannot be the attitude because, they did it in the past, so we'll do it in the future, or we'll do it today. That will not be the attitude. We gotta do things differently. I keep seeing this thing, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. We have to do things differently. Let me say two other things before I say it. I want to speak to the quote-unquote the list. Right? Meaning, we came out with a list of supporters and we got mostly positive feedback, but some people had some concerns about that. And what I remind us is that, unfortunately, Liberia, it's not a secret, it's not a well-run country, lots of corruption. You can do almost anything in Liberia today and get away with it. It's sad to say, but it's true. And therefore, we are not running to be president of just good Liberians. We run to be president of all Liberians, good and bad. People have to see themselves in you. And one of the ways to do that is the people that who identify with you that they can recognize. And so we said it was an initial list. The order was no particular order. We would name more people who would join and endorse us. But Liberians have to recognize the people who are supporting us. I also remind you that when you change the rules, you change the context, most people will follow, most people will change behavior. So let's talk about Liberians. Liberians leave Liberia, they come to America, they don't follow the rules, right? Yes. They don't go the speed limit most of the time, they don't stop at the red light, they don't drink, drive. Follow the same people, when they get a robber's fee, everything will change. Because there are no consequences. They can get away with it. We will make sure that the rules applies to everybody. And the people that are considered bad today, most of them will behave. Most of them will toe the line. There are bad people everywhere. Liberia is not any worse than anybody else. When you take over corporations or you take over jobs in corporations, you change some people, but you don't change everybody. Those same people, you change the environment, you change the culture, you change your expectations. Those people are the ones that will transform that corporation or that organization or that country. That's the perspective. If people think we just want to be perfect, if we sit over here and the country is here and we don't meet the country where it is, we'll never get to lead it.
No way. Right. If you to change the country, you have to change the behavior of the people. So, Linford,
And
listen to Mr. Cummings when he said, when he's lucky to take over, there'll be a tsunami in Liberia. Tsunami. It means he's going to clean up Liberia. That tsunami, the wave that will wipe a lot of bad behavior. That is a powerful statement.
And then one of the things he said, since this list came up, people have been talking. I've been on several talk shows, and I've also expressed similar things, and he repeated exactly some of my thoughts. When Mr. Cummings talks about you cannot continue to do the same things over and over and expect to get new results, people, and he talks about change. People, I don't know how people are defining the word change. Change, the first thing you need to do is you got to look at the characteristics of change. You got to know what change is. Change can be behavioral. That is how you think your behavior. You can change your behavior. Change can be physical. You can change your physical surrounding. Change can be monumental, or societal, or systematic, or systemic, not systematic, but systemic change. So you see, change has different characteristics. That's why you need to know. Paul is a pastor. I'm this bad guy in the community. Notorious. Everybody knows me for being bad. Paul goes to church and preach. He preaches all the time. And I go to this church one day, and after Paul had preached, Paul makes an altar call to all the bad people who want to change your behavior, who want to change your heart to God. Can you? And I go and kneel down before this altar. And the Holy Spirit comes to me, considering where I am. I'm among the holiest people, that is in the church. And then I get convicted from what I see in this church, from the preaching, that the life I'm living to be a bad person, to be breaking into people's home and stealing, beating people, causing trouble is not good. I get convicted by the behavior of the people that I'm around now. What happens to me? I get changed. I've changed my behavior. Does my physical body change? No. The clothes I wore to go to the church, does it change? No. But the environment has what? Changed me, my behavior. I can also have a house, second example, and one sheet of the roofing sheet is leaking. Am I going to break down the whole house? Break down the whole house? You have to change one roofing sheet? No. I can rather pluck all that roofing sheet that is leaking and replace it. What is that? Change, right? That's a physical change. So Liberian people, I don't know how they understand the word change. Okay, and Mr. Cummings started the example. If you work in a corporation, you can change the people, the behavior of the people. Now, the other example is started about Liberians that leave Liberia and travel. It affects all of us. And we all here, you and I, we are all witnesses. Okay? Now, I live in Norway. In Liberia, I always thought it was normal, man. I'm working, I eat a corn, I throw it down, brush it, somebody will sweep it. When I eat candy, I throw it, I take a chicken from my mom, I throw it down. All the kind of thing we thought is normal. Or people in Liberia still believe it's normal. That's why the entire city is littered. But when some of us travel, my first time, I learned in Sweden, walking in Sweden. I mean, they play clean, nobody living there to make dirt. Every street corner got trash can. Okay. So if I was eating something, I would be afraid to throw it down. They throw the dirt down. I got to hold in my hand and find the nearest trash can. What happened to me? My behavior changed. So people, the first thing people got to understand is that we have war. Yeah? War is now a normal phenomenon. War is a crisis situation. We have war. And people, when war comes, it's people who fight war. You're not animals. You don't expect the leopards and the lions and the deer from the bush to come and fight the war. No. And war is caused by people's attitude. So, say it's caused by people's attitude. Who should fight it? People. So, in the war situation, there were a lot of people who fought for some reasons. And some people got caught up in the war. The only way they will survive is what? To make their way. Okay? So, go follow. If you're listening to us, you can also follow our online radio. That's the something right there. It's the online radio, so you can also get it. Okay, so if you stigmatize the whole nation because the war that fought in Liberia, if I didn't fight my brother or my sister or my somebody or my auntie husband, my auntie brother, somebody fought connected to somebody. So if you stigmatize the whole nation because they fought war, I'm not saying that there should be no punitive action for the war, especially people who have greater responsibility. But to stigmatize the entire nation and make it appear like those people came from some different planet to come fight war, you cannot run a country like that. I was in an argument with some sedition or somebody from who condemned this thing. So I asked this guy, okay, Danny Chair, Louis Brown, all these people that you guys are complaining about, they are Liberians. But because he said they participated in past government and then some of them were involved in the war, so they should not support anybody. I agree. What if these guys say, okay, we're not supporting openly, we're not coming to support anybody, but we'll vote. When they go to vote, will you reject that vote too? Because, supporting somebody is the same as saying I'll vote for the person. So what if they didn't come out, but they go and support the person at the ballot box? Are you going to pluck all their votes? I don't understand.
So, Linford, Liberia is sometimes one of my own country, whether it's a crazy country. The reason why I'm saying this, in the CDC-led government, the campaign, they protested, they were going to bring war and economic crown court. The CDC government, Congress for Democratic Change, joined alliance with what? The Charles Taylor Party. It's a warlord party. So you taking Daniel Chair and Louis Brown to make it look like they brought war in Liberia, but the CDC government today is in bed with the war party. So what is that silly hypocrisy that in this? You align with the whole war party, then one person from that party decide to support communists, it become a taboo. Prince Johnson that supported them, he's there, the notorious murderer. He with that party, it's okay. He can go on Spoon FM and spew gibberish about Mr. Cummings, but it's okay for them. So they go pick on Daniel Chair, who was just a defense minister in a war zone to defend Monrovia or to defend the country against the rebel, because Charles Taylor was elected at the time when he was so I don't understand it. So if these guys say these guys are bad guys, what on earth they can bring the war and economic crown court to put the whole matter to bed? You get a whole group of war people behind your party. You don't see the name picking on one or two person. It makes sense.
But let's just forget about the supporter. Look at the second person in command. That if Joshua, God forbid, he dies today or he steps down, the person who's going to take over,
The first leader for the war. Exactly.
I mean, that's my sister. But you know, I mean,
Yeah.
let's say the truth. So there's a saying that if you live in glass house, do not throw stones, because
Exactly.
the man who live in that Zin round house, he don't care. So you live in a glass house, do not throw stones. Now, the seditions, when they talk, they don't know bad. That's why I listen to Kev Hassan sometimes when he condemning Louis Brown, blah blah blah. Then let's look at the Unity Party people. And the stand-up bearer for the Unity Party right now was second in command to the chief financier of the war, the person who paid money for the war to come, the person who gave instruction that he should damage the mansion, the seat of our government, they should flatten it, they will build it. And that you were vice president to that person. Then your supporters will come and start to tell you kind of thing. So, you know, like you said, sometimes we all wonder what's wrong with the country called Liberia.
That's why I say it's a crazy country, because you get Benina Ure, who also brought arms supporting a former vice president for stand-up barrage. So what kind of crazy? Because Louis Brown and Daniel Chia come up, it become a problem. But the parties with war laws, is okay with them. That's what I say. Mr. Cummings will win the election. He will win it, and that's the fear they have. So they go after. No, Louis Brown is not a small potato. They know his advocacy, and he's one of the most strategic person, political strategy in Liberia. And that is the fear. Daniel Chia that they talk about, I think you are journalists doing Charles Taylor time. People accuse him of working with the American to bring Charles Taylor down. So all this story with this guy, Daniel Chia have his own follower in Grand Bassa County. And they see this as a threat for all of these people. But somebody said yesterday on one of the talk shows, say all of these things they're doing, those that voted for George Weah, majority the youth that came from that war. And these are people that Taylor's children. And if they see people that Daniel Chia and Louis Brown all are coming, you turning their vote from Weah to Cummings. And this is the fear that they have. Because of that fear, they're going all negative every day. And they're even showing video to remind people about the past. And I think that is so dangerous what they're doing. And that's why I say Cummings will win the thing quietly.
But, you know, let me tell you, there are several ways in which negatives can turn to positive. If you look at the story of Joseph, his brothers intended him harm, but he ended up being whom they didn't expect him to be. So this, I mean, the most scrutinized political candidate now in the history of the entire Republic of Liberia, from J.J. Ramos to now, is Cummings. The men have gone to court for supposedly forging document. Nothing happened. The man is okay when his accusers, nobody had come out to say, yeah, that mean the mess way. Nobody had done that, but he's supposed to be okay. 2, the third one, the mayor is now responsible for everything that happens in the country. Rest shortage, that comes. Sanction camp, that comes. And if Cummings want to put sanction on somebody, who is Serena Cephas? Who is Bill Twelve, who worked at the behest of the president at the port at the time? And who is what the other guy? Who was the chairperson? Nathaniel Magee. Those are people who are now running in the elections. Those are people to be president. So why would Cummings go after them and leave the big face? It's like I go to hunt in the cold weather. I say now in the forest the whole day. The elephant passing, the bush cow passing, the hippopotamus, all the baby animals they're passing. Then I go see that small lake in Kini Tapadu and go shoot it. So why I say that in the code for the whole network? So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. So when I hear them talking sometimes, I look at it and they're talking out of frustration. No, you got to understand these people. If there were any other thing they would do to get at Mr. Cummings, they would do it. So this is how far they can reach, to the point where the ruling party now behaves like opposition party. Then even the other opposition parties that are supposed to work along with each other, they broke away, and then they are all afraid of their own opposition party again. So, I mean, for me, it's clear, like you said, it's clear. Everybody knows that the name Cummings is resonating, and Mr. Cummings, like he always said, he didn't come in this game to go second place. He's going to win flat. And I know there will be a lot of political comebacks. Let me put it that way. People who left, if they don't come back as a whole, they will come back in pieces. Now, let's look at the origin of all of these people that they complain about. Louis Brown didn't work in Ellen government in the United Party, even though he's MPP member, he ain't working in Ellen government. Why did they move in that time? Okay. Then Danny Chair have been around. Okay. Why did they didn't bring anything against him? Macintosh Gabriel, where did he come from? From United Party. Yeah? So I think it's like people, when you call a chicken throw, you gotta fight to death. Even though if you didn't cut in the whole hair or you'll be fighting. You're fighting to that. So that's what they're doing now, idiomatically speaking. But I don't know if you have anything about that topic or else we'll move.
So what I want to add on this is, and it's just a shameful business in a country that we have to go this way. Now, if you look at Mr. Cummings, he's one of the best managers we have around in the world. And Liberia is a country that needs somebody to go in there to manage that country. And when he said, when I take over, if I'm blessed, there'll be a wave of tsunami. Because this guy, he went to Canada, he sat with the Canadian Parliament. He was in Italy, he sat with a lot of business people. Wherever he traveled, he meet all of these people that he interact with. The people say in Liberia, Ellen have contact, but Cummings' contact is beyond Ellen. People elected George Weah because they said he played football, he had contact with all of these people, but his contact is when he opened that little playground, that 2-meter playground, his contact came to Liberia. They are footballers. So if Mr. Cummings become president, his contact will tell you exactly his associate, the people that will be coming in as a business leader. So when he says tsunami, it means Liberia will clean up in a way, they will have rule of laws, people will abide by the law, people will come in with businesses, there will be a lot of jobs. And Liberians not seem to understand that they keep basing the thing on popularity. And popularity does not lead us anywhere. The most popular son is there. He came to the place to do what? To enrich himself. Yesterday, there was a Ballon d'Or. This little guy from Senegal, he got one of the first Ballon d'Or of footballer who be a humanitarian. They made big schools in Senegal. He built hospital. George Weah, who
the man even got people in a village. He got their own salary every month.
Yes. So George Weah, who have 85 million as they claim, he never put a zinc house for anyone. Now, they see Mr. Cummings, the list of things are done over 1,000, but they keep asking, what have he done? They're behind GMB, who have not even put a little zinc round house anywhere. And they keep pointing at Mr. Cummings, what have he done? So I said, this man will win. The other people have not done anything, but they gave them seat. The man who doing all of these things. Hospital above to close in Lofa County, he stepped in to pay staff salary to keep that hospital running. He's not doing anything. What have he done? But the people who didn't do a jack, they gave them seat. So those people that went in, they had this motive, it's our time to steal. It's our time to steal where Joel Howard started and McGideon, they all started stealing. And we had started bidding on the media. They didn't do anything. These are the people who get you. I think Library deserves better. Let's move to the next topic, man.
Yeah, but before we move, I think we've talked about the rights issue. We've talked about the ANC convention, but I think this one is very important because Liberian people need to know what's going on. You see, Mr. Cummings, like you said, he's a manager. Liberia at this stage is not in a position of a country. It's in a position of one big corporation that needs a manager. You know, like one big abandoned factory that lacks management. Everything is there, but nobody to manage it. So you're just looking for a manager. You're looking for that man with a skill who can say, okay, look, Paul, you go, say you in the RT area, go to the RT area and put these things together. Tell me what all you want so that we can put you and get your staff. Okay, Linford saying you from the maritime background or you logistics or all you go and plan how we can get things in, how we can get things going out. Okay, and you saying you mechanic, you know, Liberia now needs a manager, not just somebody who will say, no, let me tell you, to manage and to preserve what are two different things. So if a country is well settled, then you can bring person like any other person to come be president of that country because while everything is settled, people are working. I mean, things are just going on correctly. You don't need to manage anything. You don't need to formulate any so much ideas. Every like country like Norway, I can even be prime minister of Norway. Nothing was spoiled because everything is in place. The system is in place. The system is working. So I'm not gonna sit down and devise a lot of strategies how to fix it. It's been fixed long time ago. Okay. The only thing they will be careful for me not to spoil it. For them to think that I'm gonna put in something new. No, that wouldn't work. The same thing that happened to Donald Trump. America is fixed. So you take a guy like Trump, who is just a playboy, but he rich, and so he put in there. So the American people are very careful. This system is there. They didn't expect anything new from Trump, but the only thing they were careful with is that Trump shouldn't spoil it. So take Paul and make him prime minister. And okay, for instance, there's a Ghanaian guy who was the chancellor that they just dismissed. You see that? The people, they put him there, and then when they saw that things were not the right way, moving quick, so they just spoil it because the system is fixed already. So the point I'm trying to make is that Liberia now does not need a leader. We need somebody who can manage it, put it into place, let everything be settled, and then now we can find anybody to be a leader. And then Mr. Cummings is that person. Because, you know, the white man, every time I say this thing, probably people don't believe it. The white man knows this thing we call who knows who. In Liberia, if Paul wants to practice who knows you, you'll go bring a brother or an uncle, son, or somebody that have we black people can do who know you. But the white man who know you doesn't go that way. The white man who knows you works in a way that they look at what you can do to contribute to what they're doing. Not just look at our country. You go to one office, you see 15 people sitting in the office, some of them doing literally nothing. Here you got five men in a whole company. I used to work in one company. Yeah, that company. In my department, we're only three, my boss and one of Piggy and myself. And we go in the morning, you see the volume of what to do. You be asking what I will do this thing. But we got everything to do it. So when we don't want to start, they're gone. And then I don't buy it here.
So Linford, you see, when Cummings said there'll be a tsunami, exactly this is what he's talking about, because the man himself is a workaholic. And if you're a workaholic and your team around you will see, in Liberia, the president usually take the lead. You saw when Ellen came to power, when Ellen started tying Lapa and putting it on her shoulder, all the Liberian women started doing the same thing.
Of course.
When we are came to power, he started wearing good Lord janitor suit, they call it purple suit. Everybody started doing it. So a Cummings take office tomorrow and start wearing Varsha, all the men will be wearing Varsha. And that's how the system work in Liberia. They got system in Liberia, but people does not abide by the rules.
And in addition, if Cummings takes over tomorrow and he starts to go to work 7 o'clock in the morning, people will start leaving the houses 5 o'clock to go.
They'll be there 6:30 before he get to work.
And that's why he mentioned in his speech that Liberian people will say at home, they say, oh, we get a Baba law, but they're Baba law. You know, Sunday, I was coming from work, I work early morning Sunday. I was coming from work and there was this snow, so we're not driving fast. Then we entered the sister's room and there was this guy in front of me. So since I'm driving on the road all the time, I know exactly where the men can stand, the police, right? But this guy, I think, because according to the license plate, no more, he comes from all part of the country. So when we got there, as I was expecting on a Sunday, because that road is coming from one hotel in the mountains. So people go there in the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and get booze. And Sunday morning, they're coming some and say hanging over. So then they always something that tried me, I know that well. So the police car stopped us. The moment I saw the police car, you see, as a Liberian man now, I'm talking about Liberian man. My man started running organizing that I'm driving with some tire that is not too good, not too new. So maybe if they drink some tire control, if they drink tire control, maybe they would catch me. But then again, the tailline had not gone off for all the change our tires. So I have small hope. They start thinking, I say, well, I haven't drank. I go off for more than almost 2 weeks. So I clear on that side. So the point I'm trying to make is abiding by law, right? Because in this country, we abide by the law. So in the moment you see, even if a police car breaks down on the highway, that old police car parking, but the moment you see your highway caught.
Yeah, so Linford, people abide by laws in Liberia if they want to. And I can tell Mirror did something in Liberia. It became Mirror cleaning day every Saturday, every first Saturday. Liberians won't go out to clean their neighborhood until 10 o'clock in the morning. It just takes a leader to say, this is how we're going to run the country. People will follow. That's all.
That's it.
You see? But if you get somebody who comes in, I'm going to play something quickly. This is the president of Liberia talking on economic about rice. Bear with me 1 second, Leaford, then you can talk.
Needs and wants. When rice is expensive, and you know that you have a shortfall in the budget, then reduce the rice so those who are that not even working but making ends meet can buy it. So when the shortfall, we cannot again support scarcity. You understand? So what needs to be done for all of us, because we have our responsibility as a citizen.
You know, if you do know the topic. Yeah,
now, I just put that there. The man who leading the country does not understand economics. It's the number one principle that one have to be able to lead a country. Because decision that you made is economic decision. There's a lot of people unemployed in Liberia. So-called are crying, they can't eat. If you don't know the basic of that and you want to lead a nation, the people need to be booted out. This is the time I bring in serious people. And that's
what I said. That's what I said. Right now, Liberia does not need a leader. Somebody who get 11 say can't be there. We need somebody who can manage us. Who can now saying no, if you don't know the topic you're talking about, and then you try to tell people that you know, when the rent is scarce, and then the budget shortfall, then we can eat. Look at the body movement. It tells you that
the red shortfall now. So what the economic theory that he applied in his own speech, we Liberians, when we're out there, we compete with other people. Liberians look at Liberians. Look at United Nations, the kind of position Liberians held over there. Everywhere Liberia compete, they compete to the highest. For we to have somebody today that shame on us, man. Shame us or we Liberians.
No, but honestly, Paul, let me tell you one thing. You know, I believe in a certain point now. I try to believe in predestination. That things that will happen will happen. You know, if George Weah had never become president of Liberia, and the guy didn't win, and something happened that he never became president of Liberia, you know what Liberia would say? Those that believe in him or the doubters, they will say, oh, the man was the best person, but the people rejected him. The man that was a good man, the man could develop the country. The man are rich man, the man play football, the man get contact, the man his this, his that. 3 times the man try. He did not offer us any platform on which he was running. He did not do anything for us from his own mouth. I'm not the one saying it, his own record for that. Then we elected him. And that was done so that we'll see and then clearly doubts of people who believe in this guy so much. Now, nobody will go to bed believing that Joshua would have been a transformative angel for Liberia. Nobody will go to bed arguing with anybody that this man was the best ever president for Liberia. Everybody has seen it because what? God allowed us to have this man so that the people's doubt will be clear. Having said that, Liberia, all is not lost for me. And like I said, it happens so that we can learn our lesson. Now, as we go forward, you think why all the discussions is to refine, define the person that we will now take to be our leader. Instead of just grabbing any Charlie Bugo and voting him because he played football. No. Okay? So the next time any basketballer come, people will say, no, my man will get experience with footballer. Key baller come, they'll say no. You know, one boxer come, they say no, my man. So Liberia needs a manager right now.
Yeah, but it's true, Linford. If you go look for a job today, if you come from the managerial side, if you go look for a job, if you go for a manager job, they'll ask you managerial question. And based on your answer, they know that you're a manager. So that is your role. If you never work as manager, they ask you, you start, they know straight that, look, this guy. So you talk of footballer who good at playing football and take whole country for you to man. The man gave this speech about the budget shortfall unrest. People saw that, they still voted him in. So what sort of mindset are we? That was, are we Liberian? We are that crazy or what? Now
we got to consider certain factors. We
know we got to consider. Listen, Liberia, we don't know whether we 2 million anymore, because when I was small, we always have about 1.5 million Liberians. After the war, the number went to 4 million. Then we haven't had a sense of people speculating, say we 5 million, maybe with 20 million, we don't know. Today, the going election, you only have 1,047,000 people that voted in an election out of 5 million people. The rest of the people sat there, say, oh, that the people think that led us to this trouble. And this is going to happen again. People will sit home and say, oh, Liberian politics, but then they're feeding it. You see?
I would let me differ with you on that one. Let me tell you. If you remember what I just told you, this thing happened to teach us lesson. Now we have learned a lesson. I'm sure, my friend, mark what I'm telling you today, mark my words. When I was a young boy in high school, we watched one film, one Christian film, and there was this old lady inside. We used to gossip, from the church. She told them, she said, "Don't tell anybody, but mark my words." So mark my words, Paul. No, the Liberian people are not going to say that anymore and say this is the people's thing. The people will step up to make their marks and to leave their mark, their prints on the history of Liberia. Even it's not possible that everybody in the country can vote, but people will step up this time. And why would that be? Based on what you and I are doing, what all the other world-meaning talk show people are doing, explaining to the people the ills in the society, the things that are happening in the society. Now, having a talk show where you consider you insult people, you blast, you cause, you get a lot of people, yes, because Liberians are frustrated. Liberians are looking for a way to vent out their frustration, okay? But we need to also educate the people, tell them the reason why things are the way they are, you see? And so what we're doing here, it may look small, but I can tell you that it's important. But the thing I wanted to say before we come in is that Liberian people, you can't blame these people for, help me right here if I'm wrong. how many before the war time, before this walking, how many Liberians were out? Few of you guys were lucky to come out. But the bunch of us was still in Liberia. We were the kind of people I would call born here, die here, as long as we were getting our daily meal. Until some law will open, then we move out. So Liberians were not out that much. In other words, we welcome many people from other countries coming to our country, but we never went out. So our exposure, our level of exposure was very limited. So what we know or what we knew at that time and what people even still know at this time is exactly what you see around you.
So
I said in Norway.
I will hold you there.
Okay, I'll wait humbly.
We don't know the amount of Liberians live in the USA, but I think the over 1 million Liberians there. If you listen,
yeah, but you give me a chance to learn.
But because you say the very people that live in the West, they even worse than the people that live in Liberia. So I just want to I don't go on flow.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I humbly agree. But the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of Liberians did not know what was happening on the outside. I said I know where I look when I look around me, I see the yellow trees. I don't know how it looks in your area. I don't know how it looks in your area now. So what you see there is what you know, and what I see here is what I know for the moment. So the people in Liberia, their eyes are closed. Not all of them, some. But the narratives are changing. People can sit down there and listen to us. There's a guy who is listening to us from Monrovia. Okay? Murphy Simpson and Samson. He's listening to us from Monrovia. Okay? This man can pass the message on to other people. So, but the point I'm trying to make here is that the mistake that Liberians made in the past is not going to be as usual. People are learning every day. Let me tell you, my friend. People are learning every day. The only concern is whether what we learn, we can hold on to that. And you talk about us, the number of Liberians living out. Yes, we that are in Europe, if you put all of us together, we are pretty close to maybe 10,000 Liberians. But
more than that. Well, more than that.
Yeah, all of Europe.
We're closer to 1 million plus. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Then if you go to America, you got about 2 million people.
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. It could be more than that. Yeah.
So if everybody could just practice what we see out and apply it to our country, we will not be talking all of these things. Because, I mean, what if America or Liberia, you think, or Liberian in America, we want George Weah to be president? No. No.
But they still have Liberians in America that are still blindfolded. They still want him to be president, and they have them.
That's what I say. Because they don't want to apply what they see.
Exactly.
That
so
group, that
those are people that confuse him on the ground.
Yeah, that the group that Mr. Comey was talking about, that when they go back to Liberia, they are different. In their Liberian home, their mentality is Liberian. But when they go out, and I see some of them sinfully, discussing Donald Trump and all the I laugh at them. You got your own burden right in your hand that you're supporting. Then you want to condemn people like Trump.
So Linford, before we move on to the censor, a group of people came to power. They made it clear from day one. This is our time to steal. They didn't hide it. So even you in Liberia, you're not in Liberia. This is our time to steal. Jefferson Kochi example in the Zin house. Today he lives in a mansion. People see it with their own kolo. They see it. Maggie, who was living on Mount Floor, he became boom. Koloko living mansion. People see it. That is common sense. Common sense is lacking in our society. Common sense. You don't have to be educated to see that somebody's stealing from you. When a little boy steals mobile phone, they'll burn him. But this guy was stealing big money from you, building big houses. He can't tell him, say, we're stealing this, we're stealing from you. We come in big house, any house with me here. You've seen it like just common sense. And these very people stay behind it. Now, in the UK here, what happened? We got a prime minister right after Boris. Because she underperforming, they want to kick her out. They're asking her to leave now because they didn't see that kind of leadership in her. She said her own friend, she threw him under the bus, so they're asking her to leave. And in the next few days, she'll leave out because the pressure is mounting on her. So somebody who came to steal, the person stole, they paid 49 condominium. You saw it with your own eye. They flying private jet. You can't even have one meal to eat. And you still going to vote that person. Then something might be wrong with you. What kind of Liberia is that? For people to even be praising either Nigeria, Ghana, Salud, that man will not last. They will run them out. This is common sense. It got nothing to do with education. People seeing it, they live it, they abuse them on the ground. Police beat people because of partisan police. They beat the university student. It went free. They set a team to investigate. You ever heard anything? 4 editors died. Those 2 people they had on Broad Street, the president, there was no investigation. When the chair said, oh, that boyfriend and girlfriend. It's that a kind of country, and people see now, they still want to put it there. There is a shameful and sad business for my own country, honestly. That common sense here.
You know, and it all boils down to what I was trying to say, that some people do know. They don't just know better. What they see is what they know. They see Joshua, that's what they know. He's the best president that they ever had in Liberia. That's what they say, because that's all they know. But again, then on the other side, from the political, the opposition side, we got local heroes. You know, and this is where I'll close on this topic. The local heroes, like GMB, I call him local hero. These men who have been in Liberian government for over 40 years. No international exposure except for visiting America that anybody can do. Okay? Now, and this man will claim that he can provide solution in a third world, country. With no exposure, you just don't know exactly what's happening on the outside. Now, Mr. Cummings on the other side, or on the other hand, Mr. Cummings, where he worked, like you were saying earlier on, the contact, Mr. Cummings serves on 7 companies board right now. So let's say I earlier on mentioned something about who knows who. If Mr. Cummings becomes president, he can convince those companies whose boards he works on or he sits on. And so, no, listen, you'll come to my country. We need companies to come. I got workforce. Our young people are coming from universities and they are not working. You'll come. Even if they're just Skellington set up, you'll come and set up, we employ people. Mr. Cummings can do it. Can Joe Boaga go out and find any company? He may, but it will take him years to negotiate because the companies will go through a profile. You work as vice president. No, Paul, don't come here. Let me finish.
No, I'm not cutting you off.
Yeah,
getting interesting. That's what I'm listening to you.
Yeah, you work as vice president for 12 years, and your government was kind of involved in corruption, and now you want to be president too. We can trust you? No, the companies will not take that risk. Can Joshua, who does not have any contact with business people, I would have thought that this fellow would improve football life in Liberia. That's how much he could do, but he didn't do that. So under his leadership, no new company is coming. Sorry. But Mr. Cummings, like I said, he serves on 7 companies board. If all 7 companies cannot come, he can bring at least 3, 4. Then those 3 or 4 companies that will come, when they begin to perform and they see what's happening, other companies will see that as recommendation because they will go through the main profile. So this is where the who knows you for where men can come in. It's like Paul lives in the UK. Paul goes to Liberia. Then a British company comes to set up one in Austria. Now they're looking for application. Paul applies. On his CV, they see that Paul has been living in UK. He has been working in the system. Then when Yagba will come from Bongonima, apply too, and they go through the 2 CVs. Who is in the women will trust first? Paul Chilibwe. Why? Because Paul has lived there in UK. He knows the system. He knows how things can work. Okay, so this is where the women know who knows who will work, and based on that, they can trust the leader to invest their money in that country. So if you want to start, you can start.
Well, the thing is, therefore, I said earlier, the country need manager, and Cummings he's a manager, one of the best around the world, and Liberia have one. Now, we know Liberia the bad guys, that the handful of people that sees that country, they shouting here that because they don't want him for so many reasons. They don't want better Liberia, and they don't want to face the war and economic crime. The crime that they committed economically and the war aspect. Those people today, that's why all of this propaganda is all against him. And Mr. Cummings will keep pushing the agenda, and he made it clear and simple. Make me president, you see change will come in Liberia, and the change that will come, there will be a lot of jobs. My contacts will start coming. It means we'll make the environment good, secure, people will start coming. Major, we are president. He brought in Didio Draba, JJ Okacha then to come Jedi. That's his own contact, and that's the bottom line. You talk about GMB. Let me just summarize on it. GMB was riding on the back of Eddie with a few contacts. He said he was a parked car. So how can a parked car have contact and he was parked for 12 years? So that alone, just forget him. The old man just need to wake up one day, say, for Christ's sake, at my age, let me give my blessing to somebody, you'll lead the country. I worked over 50 years in our country. When GMB started working, I was not born. And he still want to be, he sort of be sitting down, enjoying his grandchildren, and be in a race and causing unnecessary confusion here. The man gave he gave an interview the other day. He get 5 different platforms. He running on, nobody know which one is. He get art, he get rise, he get die, he get this, everything. He be confused. He obey rules in 100 days. And people coming out say, oh, in the old days, because the rule was smooth, yes, we agree, but it requires the yellow machine. It requires setting up little depot. In the old days, the tournament town, the turbo town, the door town, the house, depot, popular warehouse, depot everywhere, and require money. So if this guy going to do it in 100 days, where that money come from when we are then finishing all the money in the country? The election are coming, the money they printed before they go back, the new government take over, there'll be an empty vote, there'll be nothing left. Where will he get our money from in 100 days to build everything that he's talking about? So for him, he's just another confused old man that just need to step inside. Yeah, the other people that have the energy take over that country.
Yeah, but you talk about the 100 days plan. Let me tell you one thing. This is what Liberian voters are used to. Remember, this woman have been in government for 40 years. So they know how to maneuver the people mind. Because our voters are not thinking beyond. They only want to listen to what the man say, hey, then they clap. They don't want to know how you do what you say you will do. I can say I'll bring this car down, I'll bring all the inches so they can clean you'll be perfect. Hey, they will clap for me. But nobody there will ask me how you do it, how you reach the sky, open it. So the old man, he know the old 30 years. See, if you listen to them carefully, they will always say, we get the experience. We have been in this thing for long. So that's the experience they want to bring. Okay? And they don't want Cummings to change it.
Yeah,
so
I agree. They have the experience for stealing. That is corruption.
Yeah.
People just make it sound
a lot of the people make false promises. So that's the experience we always talk about. But Paul, let's read some comments. Let's read some comments here.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. Let's see. Joseph Control. Joseph Control from North Carolina. It says, it is simple. I think this is the time when we're talking about the name of Cummings resonating all over the place. He said they are calling the name of Mr. Cummings all over the place because they are now seeing that Mr. Cummings is serious threats to the presidency of President Weah comes 2023. Yeah, we said it. And that's a fact because there's no reason why they will sing song with the man all over the place. Some people dreaming, they talking their dream, calling a name. Okay? I mean, there are several comments, but we'll read some of the most touching ones. Let's see what Samson said here. Murphy Samson, by the way, is watching us from Liberia, and we want to say thank you very much that you could put your data on the line to see the program. Paul, you want to read that part?
What he's saying here, the reason why I said this is some of the things still blindfolded Okay. What's that? You read it.
No,
It's
the one on the screen. The one on the
yeah.
screen. Okay, so most of our youths are not ready for good life yet. The reason why I said this is that some of them still blindfolded of needful life. They always cried out. They are still thinking this situation will still change by the same people. And I think what he's trying to actually say is that most of the youth still got some kind of hope in the CDC government. So they don't, their eyes are blinded, they don't see the future for themselves. So with that hope, and the CDC government key on this uh, 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 political saying that change for hope. Because I would have thought they would say hope for change. You're hoping to bring change, but if you change for hope, I still can't get this thing. I still not wrapping my mind around it. So I think that's exactly what Murphy was trying to say. And let's go further down. Oh yeah, my man Daniel Draper from Northampton. Daniel, how you doing? I hope you stay there. And it's been a long time, boy. But Madam Christian Nelson writes here. Let's see what she says. The problem is Liberians don't read to know what Cummings is doing for Liberian and continue to do so. That was when Paul was trying to recount some of the things that Mr. Cummings has done in Liberia and for Liberians compared to other candidates. Okay, Mr. Cummings' school, they get the STEM school, they get graduated some students recently, right? I wonder when did Joe Boaka students graduate, if any.
Amen. Don't hurt your head with this thing. I told you, look, my daddy, he just need to step aside. And I keep saying this thing here. We all know daddy is a very good man. He just need to step aside. I say, look, children, I had it all. Let me give you a chance. Honestly.
Yeah, Mr. Portugal, what you just said is right. I mean, what you just said right now is the real truth. Present government brought footballer, while Mr. Cummings will bring businessmen that will create a lot of relief to government revenue. Um, let's forget about how we got here. Let's focus on who going to take us from here to a better place. I mean, he making a lot of sense. A lot like every time I think about money, I listen to money kitchen show. There is one thing he has been saying of late that I like. He always talks to seditious that no, listen, do not blame yourselves. A lot of seditious blame themselves. Why did we vote for this man? You voted for the man, but you couldn't put in his head what to do. You trusted him. You have confidence. Okay, let's say we are supporting Mr. Cummings now. Okay, we don't know for sure what he's gonna do. He's telling us what he's doing. I mean, what he will do, unless Georgia that did not tell us anything. So if Mr. Cummings does not do anything, we can hold him to his words. Why he's saying that? But your son, Georgia did not tell you anything, and you voted for him. So do not hold yourself responsible. You thought he would do better. So like what Murphy is saying here, let's not focus too much on how we got here. We are here already. So let's focus on how we're going to get out of here. Who's going to take us from here? And I like that part of it.
Yeah, it's to get rid of the government out there and to bring serious minded people, and people should not even think about confused people, because when they get in office, the country will be more confused. So this is about the time that they bring in people who are very serious to manage our country well. The person that have the energy, that have the contact, that can create jobs. And all of those people that are running today, it's Mr. Cummings keeps singing a song. He have the 5 pillars, he keeps singing. But the other people today, they're confused. They say they're going to build roads, then tomorrow the agriculture, tomorrow art, then tomorrow rise, then tomorrow die. Where are we heading? And these are the people that are in the space. So go on with your comment. I see somebody saying something here.
Yeah, there is one comedian here.
I don't know why people
see the reality. Be talking things pretending. Why be talking things pretending? You know that comments can never be more than GMB in this country. You see, these are the people. The man is built. Yeah, this fellow, he's a senior. Okay, Moses Kapu Senior. So he's not a young
Yes.
picking, he's not small ball. These are the people from
Exactly.
back then. Yeah, the man still goes way back. That JMD will kind of tell him he will build all the roads in Liberia in 100 days. I don't know whether
No,
you know how many months in 100 days? That just 3 months. That 90 days plus 10. So that 3 months with 3 days each plus 1 day left. You divide that 1 day, 24 hours, you divide into 6 hours each. So within that time, you can connect. You can even connect the road from Banga to Zozo in 100 days. So you, Moses Kapu, you see, that's why I call him a senior. He's an elderly man, I want to believe.
no, but
So
I like him because this is
I like him.
typical. This is typical United Party scene supporter. The
Yeah,
reality is the reality.
yeah.
Now, if I would sit down and say, look, I listen to Taiwan, and Taiwan made a lot of sense. I don't support him, but he made a lot of sense. We got to be factual and be honest with ourselves. This is the truth. The man who in his read have been laying out his far payload since 2017, he continues saying the same thing. He have not changed. The man who was there for 12 years that were parked as a car, parked car, that were running on the back of Ellen, he cannot run his campaign on the sunset of Ellen. That's one of the things you should look at. Somebody who cannot run. You see, Joe Biden ran on the sunset of Barack Obama, what they did. But this VP cannot run on that. So what does that tell you? That's what I said today. He said agriculture. Tomorrow he said roads. The next day will be something else. He does not have a set platform. Yeah. So because he does not have
agriculture, road, where the either one, something, and then the S, and then the T. See, so Mr. Kapu, well, you say GMB cannot. I mean, coming cannot be more than GMB. I don't understand why you are more than. You know,
because it always. I will tell you what he's saying. This is the same thing that he did. Oh, George, we are popular. GMB, everybody know him. Yes, everybody know him. Or the first president. So Mr. Comey, nobody know him. But now because nobody know Mr. Comey, they have a sleepless night.
But the funny thing here is, I don't know. When JMP was part for 12 years, Moses Kapu, what were you doing? Where were you? How can you justify that Ellen Johnson and JMP will run on the same ticket, they win, then they take him and pack him? Ask yourself, Kapu, that you take your money, you buy a car. Then when you carry the car, when you pack it, then you be walking by land. Does that make sense to you? That means something is wrong with that car, and something was wrong with you.
The thing is, let me talk something here small. The reason why I keep saying my daddy need to step aside, there's so many factors involved here. Health-wise, he's not well because he said it's the 2017 election, the pressure of mounted on him. That's why he had heart problem. He had to go to pacemaker, so he's not well. When he take office, Liberia will be spending more money on him for medical treatment, and that's the fact. At that age, he just need to step aside and say, look, I need to look after my grandchildren. This is about time. Let me pick somebody, let people go and battle it, and then we'll take it from there. But he cannot be in an open space, and then people like my brother here, Moses, will still be talking about him. They should see reasoning. We're talking about employment in Liberia. The country gone bad. We need somebody to come in to better manage that country, which we all like, and we see Cummings is one of the best at the moment. So let's go forward to who's saying here. Miss William, where she said, "Oh, I like that statement. He is confused." That's the reality. Thank you, sis. I've been saying this thing. He's confused. So let's move on. Let's get to the other thing before we can let's transition here. So to our listening audience, I just wanted to play something here because some of you that just joined us, please share the show while doing that. And what says Lucretia say here? These are the people who are not thinking about the future generation. That's where it says, Lou. They're not thinking about the future. They're only thinking about themselves. So I want to play this. These people that honor JMB, this is where something that they did, and I want our audience to look at this again. The Zocos community, when Eddie Johnson then brought all Liberia, they brought Liberia down. They created a group of people called Zocos. And JMB themselves, they didn't create jobs, they didn't rehabilitate these people. Today, they're all over the place. And now the Zocos now are making music. I want our audience to kind of listen to the 1 second or 1 minute clip.
If you not get man, you just so back. To chat a lot of used to eat it. But my Erica, who are eating 2 times, said, we are going to eat 1 time. I said, I'm telling you, why the country going on?
Probably
where this country going. That's so
yeah, but probably Moses Kapu needs to go and when it's go and answer that question to them. Say the people who are there for 2 years, they didn't do anything for you. They come again. So they come again. I'm sure the children will ask him when you come, what you do. See, you shouldn't come here and measure who is more than who. Say who can do what. You see, so because Moses Kapu, I'm sorry that we're making fun out of you. I mean, that intent of the program, but if you
no, but I like Moses because this is what happened. You see, the reason being, the Zoko has not seen where the country going. It is Zocos who not educated asking that question, where is the country going? So it just need, and Lucretia said something here. And this is what Lucretia said to validate what I was saying.
Yeah. They're not thinking about the people that was not thinking about the future of the country. His mind is fixed back there, you know, and it all boils down to what I told you. People, let me tell you, I've always made a statement here. If you were born, Paul, and you were born, and the people put your face down from the day of birth, your face get down. The only place you can see that down. When you're like 10, 15, 20 years old, and they turn you over, they say, look up. They play is called up. You say no. You not know the difference between up and down. So that people like Moses Kapu there, who will always be like that, their mind is fixed in the back that, GMB. What made GMB more than comics? GMB has got no international record. That local hero.
It's called popularity. That's all.
Yeah, that all
reacting on the same popularity thing.
That's in that popularity will eat. In that popularity, people will eat. In that popularity will develop the country. And I don't know. I don't know what can Moses Kapu sell JMB on what platform?
There's no platform. That was it's confused because if they have platform, this is what we'll be talking. Say we'll do this.
I bet you'll not post anything to sell coming. TMB. But I think Paul, our time is fast spent. Whether you got anything else you want us to talk about?
Yeah, I just wanted to make they talk about maybe the next 5 minutes. Then we'll close up about. There should have been census in Liberia. Now, the CDC-led government decided to employ people, but then before they get there, they had to do attitude tests. So on the attitude test now, for them to create the thing, there is such a big confusion in the country. People need jobs. A lot of young people apply. So attitude test came, they sat for it. The result, people can't see result. They gave it to family member that didn't even sit the test. So this is what kind of that's what I'm saying. These people need to get out. They need to get out.
No, Paul. See, Paul, let me tell you, all these things happening for a reason. Yeah, let me tell you one thing. God is in heaven or wherever He is, but He right around us. He can change situation very fast. All these things, they're happening for a reason. We say God 12 months, make it 11 and a half months to elections. Until now, we have not had census. We don't even know how many people will register and all these things. And the government is delaying, okay? To the point where they gave aptitude tests to people, and people who made it, they are denying them the job. So, this tells us what will happen in the future. So, Liberian people, you open your eyes. Liberian people, this government does not want to leave. So they will create all kinds of conditions. This census should have been behind us long time. Okay, knowing that we're going to have election 2023, this census should have been behind us long time, and then by now people should be getting ready to start registering voters. But again, the Liberian people, you are the judge. If you want to go back to from 12 years of May's rule under GMB early, where GMB was packed, you were not functional, you were just getting free government money. If you want to create some condition for George Weah, who is getting richer and richer, and you will be getting poorer and poorer, the choice is yours, but you have the opportunity to change. And change depends on you. Change is here. You can effect that change yourself. Nobody will change it for you.
That's right. And we thank you, Lynn, for I think it was good. And before we leave, I'll ask our viewer, if they're your first time, can you click the like button so when it comes on, every time you be notified. The platform is growing. We're here every Tuesday and Saturday. Maybe sometime we'll come on a Friday. So keep sharing our show, and we really value your time being here. You took upon your busy schedule to be with us. We really appreciate that. So just take the like button and follow us.
And just before we go, I think the most couple who are talking about GMB is more than Cummings. We got to play a clip of Mr. Cummings' vision. Let him listen to it. Probably he has not listened to it, and see whether GMB, saying he's a GMB supporter, whether GMB have any vision like this that he, Moses Kapu, knows about. So I think, Paul, if you finish, then I can roll that, and on that note, we'll be saying goodbye to our people.
Well, before you roll that, I just wanted to tell people, because you see, Eugene Fagon, the one I really like, his music is kind of hit number one. There's a new version to that music, and I just wanted for our audience to listen to it. It's not long before we play Mr. Cummings' vision. Yeah. Just sit back, listen to this. He got a fantastic backer of listen to this.
You are coming to the U.S. You suck the ambassador. I don't want to go and I don't want to give you the say. Now he will tell you, you're who they want to talk. Now he will tell you that you're coming to the U.S. You're not supposed to suck the ambassador until you go back. Now he will tell you, no, I will not tell you, no. Now he will tell you that you're not supposed to tell the foreign minister girlfriend and promote the permanent mission, knowing that you want Thomas Sweet today. Now he will tell you, I will not tell you, no. Now he will tell you that you can wait. There's no know nothing about diplomacy, no foreign policies, because you're not a future. Now he will tell you, no, I will not tell you, no. Now he will tell you that your government is weakening day by day. You can't see it. Now he will tell you, no, I will not tell you, no. Now he will tell you that your people have asked you to investigate them. After you have told the whole country to investigate them, they beg you to investigate them. Now he will tell you to investigate them before you do it now. Now he will tell you, Mr. President, never told you to fire the ambassador 2 days before you arrive. So, whoever you decide now, this is how you take the text. But you and I know that ambassador Pumpkin will not be alive. He will be over your own. And the people you coming with, most of them don't know the U.S. Now, he will tell you, no, I will not tell you. Now me will tell you. You be over your friends. No, I will not tell you. No. Now me will tell you. I will not tell you, no.
No, but let's do some small comparative analysis here. The other music here and the Bible music, which one you like most?
The Bible music is the #1 hit in the UK. It's the original. So this other music is the second version of the Bible music. So this one he get back up.
Yeah, but for them, me, I think I like it one here because he said that me will tell you. So it mean you can't think.
But this is what I'm saying. Common sense is lacking in Liberia. This is where people need to start. It's common sense. Nobody now. This is the time Liberia need to make an informed decision and they make a sound decision of who they put in. I would say their race should be between two persons. It should be the two people that between Cummins and Taiwan. That's what I would say. But these other people, they have served, they stole from us. It's time that we just put them aside. Liberia need to make a sound decision. You can't be doing things over and over and get a series. The people stole from us before. They keep stealing from us. Let's try all the people who have not had that opportunity. Let them do something different. The country need to move on. We behind Ghana that people used to come to Liberia, sell bread, sell fish. Today, Liberia running to Ghana, let it go to New York. Liberia, what happened to
very powerful
Liberia?
Statement.
Yeah.
Very powerful statement you made.
We need to do something. Our people need to think twice, listen, and vote the right people. People said JFK was one of the best hospitals in that region. Today, people go to Ghana, they will come in body bag. Liberia need to sit and think why. And those are the things. Schools. It's about time. It's not about this person popular or that person not popular. We need some people to lead our country. And this is why you, Chief, are going to see in the music that me will tell you, Liberians, wake up, open your eyes, and vote the right people. The propagandists in Liberia don't hand for the people that seize that country. They know the reason why they will go and sing and talk gibberish every day because they don't want to change in Liberia. But as God waiting, things will happen in Liberia. That's why Mr. Cummins' name is Key Camille. You go on any platform to net, oh, Mr. Cummins. Tomorrow, Mr. Cummins, people wake up. People now getting that heart attack when they wake up in the morning, that heart pumping, or what happened? Mr. Cummins again. The man in Washington, oh, Mr. Cummins bringing sanction. He traveled to Europe, oh, Mr. Cummins everywhere. So as long as they keep singing this song, he will be president.
Yeah, my final word is that me will tell you that you're hungry. You know that you're hungry. That me will tell you that your children are not in school. You know that you're catching hard time. That me will tell you. I think I like it all of music. So, just before we go, let's encourage you to always join us on our online radio too, because when we're here, we are also streaming simultaneously on the online radio. So thanks for being there.
It's 24/7 this radio, so you can also relay and it will be broadcast again on the radio. So if you miss out, you can play while driving. It's our online thing. This is the Borderline online radio. Yeah.
Okay. So before we go, let's leave you with Mr. Cummins. Be very patient and listen to
please do. Yeah. So
and listen. I was just about to say that you should sit patiently and listen to what Mr. Cummins have to say. Okay. And Paul, are you coming Saturday?
Saturday, yes, is a strong possibility will be on Saturday. So yes.
Okay. We hope to have some people with us, guests. We normally bring on some guests. So if we lay hand on some people, will be coming here to discuss the issue. Thanks for being there. For
I'm
those
trying
of you
to get Louis Brown on Saturday, so there's we're trying to engage in the background. So when that happens, they will publish it.
Okay, that would be very, very interesting. And then for those of you who join us for the very first time today, we say make this place your home. We come on every Tuesday and Saturday for now, and sometimes we come on Friday. In fact, if anything breaks up, we come on, and so you will get a notification. Like Paul said, just click the like button, and anytime we come on, you're gonna get a notification that the bottom line library is on. So thanks for being with us, and welcome next time. Listen to Mr. Cummins, and this is how we like to take you home.
My name is Alexander Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective, defeating the Weah administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you